Our presentation today is on stages of adolescent chemical use. We're going to have a short slide presentation or video presentation on each stage. The first stage being experimental use, the second stage regular use, the third stage daily preoccupation, and the fourth stage dependency. All of these stages are going to discuss behaviors commonly seen in young people that use drugs. Keep in mind that not everybody follows these patterns exactly, but virtually everybody has most of these characteristics or show most of these characteristics that are involved with chemicals. Each stage is going to be divided into three parts. There will be an intake part, which just talks about what the drugs are that they're consuming and the frequency of their use. Another part will be what the world sees, and this is going to be what an outside observer would see about behavioral changes with the person that's involved with drugs. And the third part is the feelings graph, which is going to chart how the person feels both before, during, and after the drug use. All right, so let's take a look at stage one, experimental use. Typically, we'll see young people getting started in no earlier than grades 5, 6, 7, and 8. And yes, they do start that early at times. In the intake, as far as what they're consuming, it's mostly alcoholic beverages and pot smoking. You see here beer drinking and pot smoking, and also wine coolers, hard lemonade, the alcoholic beverages that have more of the soda or sweet taste. Basically, these are chosen because they're relatively cheap compared to other drugs, and they're also readily available. You think about it, just about every kid's home is going to have some kind of alcoholic beverage there, and even though pot may not be stored in the home like the alcohol, I think just about any middle school aged kid in America could get a hold of some pot if they are actively looking for it. On frequency of use, it's not real frequent. It's done usually on weekends or during the summer with friends, and you can read into that, that this start could be out of boredom, trying to find something to do. There is a thrill identified of defying the parents or having their teen rebellion age. This is quite common with most all of the drug users at this age. The use is spontaneous, meaning that it's not pre-planned. It might be such a thing that the parents decide to go shopping in Duluth for the day, and while they're gone, the kid invites over a friend or two, and they're looking for something to do and something to eat or whatever. They go in the fridge and they find the parents' beer stash and decide to entertain themselves by drinking the beer. We see little to no use of hard drugs, which means no meth, heroin, LSD, and other drugs that are at least perceived to be more dangerous than pot or alcohol. Under what the world sees, nothing different in this stage. The amount and the frequency of use is so little that we really aren't going to see behavioral changes in the young person. Here's the feeling graph, and you notice we have a hash here for normal, then we'll go to the right, there's a hash for high, as in when the person is under the influence, and a hash over here for pain. In stage one, we start right at normal. We get a big peak out here to high. In fact, this high that goes about as high as it gets has a special name called euphoria, which basically means ultimate good feeling. And as the drug wears off, the person comes back down to normal or even extends a little bit past normal, although there really isn't much of the hangover effect happening when the person first gets started using like we see in stage one.